Hey Ryan, hey everybody.
Hey Jay, welcome. I'm
Thank you very
gonna
much.
share the screen. Do you want me to bring a deck up before I go? I can do that.
Um,
Give you something to talk about.
well, sure, sort of, but I was actually, I guess, either way, bring one up.
All right.
It doesn't hurt. Um,
Um,
Hi Mama, hey Guru, hey everybody.
do you want Esper Doom or Blue White?
Go ahead and bring up honestly, what I really wish is I could bring up a food deck.
You want to talk about it? We can do that.
Yeah, actually, would you mind can you put up a web browser window for a second?
Yeah. Let's.
If you would bring up a food deck, it almost doesn't matter which one.
Well,
Um,
let's go to Goldfish.
Goldfish, just go to, yeah. Actually, what I would do is go to the tournaments.
Oh,
Oh, there we go. That's
is
fine.
this good enough?
Yeah, it's good enough.
All right. So I'm gonna Control Shift B. I'm gonna go to a. Actually, let me just export this to Arena, and then whether it has all the cards or not, you can still just look at it in client.
Sure.
Probably have an Oko deck in here somewhere, but I actually have been not playing. It just feels like it's too easy. I think that's part of the reason there's still variety on Arena. Like none of us actually just want to succumb and play this thing.
This is part of the problem and part of what I was planning on discussing. There's some really interesting issues. I mean, but before we get there, if you just want to make that part, just make the main deck large and you go get food.
So you
And
want me to
I'll
go
chat
to
with
this view?
folks. Any large, yeah, this view's fine. Yeah, perfect. Or
Let me go see what it looks like on left monitor. Though I make sure that I'll get myself out of the way.
that
Turn
would be
off the
great.
webcam. There you go.
Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about this. So right now, yeah, thanks, Hat. Um, Most of you know, or at least several or many folks know, that the format is completely broken. And it's broken in an interesting and odd way, in my opinion. Um, so, formats have been broken. WotC generally bans something. This is the first time that I can remember that WotC's banning of something caused a format to be broken. Um, Now, and hold on for a second, White Russian, on the question of does Oko need to be banned? Um, so when I was working at R&D, we knew that bans were really risky behavior, and we never got burned. The problem was when there's a proposal for a ban, if you have a day to work on, looking at what the format looks like after the ban, you'd be lucky. Most times you've got 2 or 3 hours. And the problem is there's just, you've got schedules you're working on. You're already 2 sets ahead. You don't have decks built. People are on schedules and teams. And it's really, yeah. So I don't know that banning Oko would fix it, is part of the problem. They made the format worse by banning field. And the problem is green is better than any other color right now, or at least green X. So if we ban Oko, let's suppose we could just wave a wand and have that happen. Are people going to stop playing food decks, or are they still going to be dominant? I realize Oko's a problem and you can say things are going to be getting better, but green has cards that are better than any other format that are still not being played. Green has too many good cards. I think you'd have to ban 3 or 4 cards. I made a comment the other day that WotC needs to ban everything until Baby Teferi's good, and then ban Baby Teferi. And so I don't quite know what they do about this mess. It's a little unusual because it's one of the most truly dominant decks. And they also made another mistake. And Guru, so when I was working at R&D, Eric Lauer is, in my opinion, the best developer they have. He is a super strong proponent of really powerful counter strategies and, specific strategy hosers. Now, if you look at the things that hose strategies right now, like Noxious Grasp, it's not a whole lot more powerful than a terror. And as yeah, it's a little broader, but it's really not outside of scope. It doesn't truly dominate the match. I was testing some food decks just to see how truly powerful they were, and of course, to gain familiarity, and I'll be honest, to help grind my rating up a bit. And I ran across a deck that had every blue and green color hoser in it, and I still beat them. I mean, it was crazy. They played absolute. They were pre-sideboarded with every card, and they still couldn't win. Now the problem is, Guru. Also, an answer to your question about can they fix it in the next set with a card? No, they're too far out of schedule to do that. Anything they publish right now, they can get in as early about 15 months from now. So they don't, now they may have already had a counter strategy. They may have a food hoser. I don't know if they really predicted. I mean, right now you'd need to push something like Perish to fix things. For those of you who don't remember what Perish is, Perish was a card that was so strong it almost put green out of circulation. It was black and to destroy all green creatures. Um, and Perish would, certainly control things, but they obviously can't patch that in time. Yeah. Um, destroy all tokens, maybe pull all counters, cantrip. And maybe that they do have something in there. But I mean, just look at the deck that's on here right now. Vivian Arkbow Ranger is amazing as a planeswalker goes. If you pull out all the Okos, they just become Vivians. Um, most decks don't have room for a full set of have rooms for Hydras. Um, I actually think this build is pretty terrible because I think Paradise Druid is really important, but still. Um, so they have a problem at the high level. They don't have an easy fix. I expect that just because of demand, they'll eventually ban Oko. Um, so LSV is probably right. I didn't really dive into the best strategy for counters. I'd been playing straight up blue green and specifically putting in Aether Gus. Hey, Ryan. Putting in Aether Gust into the main in my build. Aether Gust actually works against every deck you've played on Arena right now. So if you want to start pre-sideboarded, blue green, and then it handles blue green. It also handles mono red and red green. So Razor, the reason their testing didn't find this problem is they were playing with Golas in the format. So it wasn't as dominant. And I suspect that someone knocked one mana off of Oko late in the. I have nothing to base it on other than the power level, but there's a few cards that undergo very last minute changes. So the last thing that happens in a set is the set lead, along with Bill Rose, go through the set and then they make a change. Make a couple of changes that the set lead might feel possible. And it was last minute testing that always gets you. I feel like the majority of the mistakes they make come from that. Probably the worst card I think in recent history is Jide. That card was worse than Oko, and that one came from a last minute change. And yeah, well, I don't even think Guru that Oko is fine. He's non-interactive and he kills certain formats. Occam, it absolutely does. They do it sort of to let the lead designer truly put his feel on it. But yeah, I mean, I get it, but I think you would still have a metagame issue if you did ban Oko. And this is why I don't really know what the good solution is. Ryan brought up an interesting point that people don't want to play, that on Arena, far fewer people are playing food than should be if people just wanted to win. Um, and part of that is because also no one wants to play a mirror of this match. I mean, it's like most mirrors, a pretty unpleasant experience. So one of the, so you see a lot of other things, which actually hurts the other decks because I found two decks that I was comfortable with that can beat them, and it did show up in the Mythic both variants of both. And we can look at them; they're fun to play. Yeah, you're right. Mirrors are terrible, and it is a very odd format. I mean, Constructed is, in pretty awful shape because of that. In a weird way, I'm super excited about the new format that they were introduced. They should just focus on that for a while. That's probably their best solution, but they can't really just ignore mythics and rares for fiscal reason.
Right. I am back on audio, by the way. Just
That sounds
getting
great.
Jay loaded up here, get his decks loaded up. We have a blue-white control. Oops, control.
So the blue-white control, by the way, can play in the metagame as it exists right now, the one that I have. Brian, I was glad you don't have all the cards. I would love to put in a few random Aether Gusts just so you can see them. Are they sideboard or main cards you're missing?
Looks like I'm missing one Castle Vantress from the main and one Realm Cloak Giant from the side on that one.
Oh, those aren't really relevant.
Yeah.
Just substitute whatever for the Realm Cloak so you're playing best of one.
Yeah, this doesn't matter. I'll just cut
the
it.
Castle doesn't, just put
Island.
in land. Yeah.
All right, so then that gets that one ready for prime time. I'm going to pull in the other one while I'm in the mode here.
That sounds good. So the other deck is a Doom deck. So Doom is just fine against blue-green, but it suffers a bit from the hyper aggro red or red-green. So it's probably not your best grinding deck, but man, is it fun and cool when you try to exploit Doom truly to the highest level it can. The other thing is this deck also exploits the Wishstone, and I had been wanting to mess around with that for a bit, and it's pretty cool too.
Doom Control? Any comic book fans out there? Doom Control? Get it? So little Doom, the Doom Patrol run in the late '80s was an incredible series of comics. But hey, we have all this one.
Awesome.
So, and let me throw some links to the crowd. Here is. I also got to get these loaded into streamed. Oh, actually, you don't have to. Cardboard Live will cover the decks. You can ! Deck once we start playing, and the lists will come up. But if you want to see them on MTG Goldfish, here is the Esper Doom deck, and then here is the blue-white control deck.
Guru, I sort of missed your comment about a 4-cost Oko that had -1 elk. An interesting observation is 3 casting cost planeswalkers are almost always too strong. I'm hard pressed to think of any of them that aren't tournament caliber. And many of them have been broken. I mean, I think one of your general heuristics might be to be extremely careful or not do 3-cost planeswalkers.
Yeah, especially green ones that make it. There's always some ramp. It's like, wow, it's like a really 2-mana planeswalker. That's part of what is so busted about Oko is that it so often ends up staring you down on 2.
Well, it has interactivity problems.
Yeah.
Oko's a card that says don't play your game. And that's a whole bunch of unfun.
Yeah, it is. Razor is asking, the last minute
Yeah,
change thing. We don't know what they did. It's possible they didn't make any last minute changes. They just thought it was a healthier format because of their experiences. The other thing is you still only have a team of however many people hammering it on as hard as they can, and they're not nearly going to get as much information as the world gets on day one. So that's tough too. But they don't do big. They take last minute changes very seriously at this. I mean, they always have, but especially now after some of the mistakes that have been made. But I don't know that's what's happened here. What I would love to see is the developer notes, the card file notes for Oko. If you've ever read any
I would
articles,
kill to see those.
yeah, because the developing, what is it? Latest developments is a column that often does a dive into the developer comments on a given card that shows what changed over time and how the developers were responding to it. And I'd love to see what the Oko comments are. But I do think it comes down. Obviously, Oko was intentionally pushed, and I think part of the reason is that you just came off of a Planeswalker set, so you've really flooded the world with Planeswalkers, and I think there was a desire to not have the Planeswalkers in the set following the Planeswalker set just be a big letdown. None of these are even close to anything that was in War, So I think they wanted to make one that was clearly just awesome. They just made it too awesome. That's what I think. But where do you want to start, Jay?
All right, go ahead and start with Doom Control. You've got that.
Right.
Let me talk to Doom Control for a quick second before you do, since it's up in front of us. So Doom Control is a deck that really tries to leverage, you're basically recurring all of your little 2-drops, the artifacts, those little garbage ones that just draw a card, although you gain a lot of life off of Golden Egg. You get a bunch into the graveyard, then you recur them with the Dance of the Mains, but Doom Foretold just basically is an Abyss in this deck. Abyss being one of the classic creature control cards. You've also got a sub-theme in here, which is the Wish Claw. And the Wish Claw can do things. First of all, if you've got 6 mana, Wish Claw, fetch your Teferi, bounce your Wish Claw back. You've gained about 1,000,000 cards and have a Teferi on the table. And they got nothing. You can also do similar tricks with that, with more mana, with the Cleansing or the Cavalier. Anyway, Wishclaw also has some useful targets, which you can go and search out, and get yourself out of problems. Yeah, but these are all ones that you just have sitting around and are useful for other things as well. So anyway, assuming you don't run into nothing but hyper aggro red, Ryan, you'll have a great time with it. So please don't run into just hyper aggro red. Also, try and make sure to draw a 2-drop. Ryan, you went mute.
Sorry about that. I thought I unmuted myself. Anyway, this is this deck is also known as Stax, S-T-A-X, because it harkens back to the original Stax deck, which was a Smokestack deck. Smokestack is a card that you could. Let's put it. You'll see the familiarity if you don't know this card. Compare it to Doom Foretold, right? So there was an old deck that used Smokestack. I will keep this. We have a Cry to protect against the possible horde, although Dance and Talisman feel like cards we want later. But
they are.
Oath and Cry are nice.
But Talisman's still a 2-drop. It gets junk out when you need.
Right. We don't have blue yet, so maybe keep the
it. Keep your
passage.
4th land. The other way the deck can have an issue is it can land flood. Just fair warning.
Mm-hmm. Do you want to drop a plains and go with the Talisman?
Honestly, I'd probably get my other tap land in play and
Okay.
make sure I don't have a land on top because they're not threatening you. They also didn't play red.
I'm gonna move the oath down then.
Yeah, it's not red, so it's blue. You see blue-black, so it's either blue-black something or other,
And here
or
comes the
it's
Thought
the
Erasure.
blue-black-green.
Thought Erasure is required of any deck that can do it. See, 100%.
Maybe right.
100% of the time they do. I've done the math.
So they should take the dance, of course. Yep.
Now Talisman, I guess. We don't want to...
Wait. You can put the castle out. It doesn't really matter.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I was thinking we were going to get an island next turn
worries.
and then castle untapped after that. That was my sequencing thought. But yeah, given that there's a spare mana, there's no reason not to just throw the tapped.
Yeah. I mean, you're not going to activate the Wish Claw right here.
No.
The nice thing is, even when I do just proactively activate it because I needed to for whatever reason, I've never seen an opponent activate it back and give it back to me.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think everyone's afraid to, which is not that unreasonable. By the way, do you think they have a counter spell?
Well, Grixis Control, I don't know how much countering they play.
Not a whole lot. This is probably fires. So I might go ahead and play the Fabled Passage.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, that's this. They don't have any. Try Fabled Passage.
Yeah, and then...
grab an island.
All right.
And then you're going to use the planes to activate the Wish Claw. And then you're going to get a Teferi.
I love it. Yep. We're doing it.
Let's go ahead and have fun with that.
Watch them scoop to this. This is so beautiful.
They won't scoop to it because they're going to play fires on the next turn because they think they're going to beat you. It gets into an interesting fight. And they might. You've got 2 oaths, which is a little more than you want, but that's okay. You can draw out of this pretty easily. Well, so let's see what they go for here. A lot of the times they'll go for...
Dead Tef. You can live with that.
Weird. So they're getting rid of your Teferi.
We can just do the same thing.
Yes, you can.
I'm in for that.
Here, well, I wouldn't rush that. I want to get you want to get another card in here. So
okay.
Yeah, that's fine. Playing the castle doesn't really matter.
Oh yeah, we're short 1 mana because we can't activate. We maybe do that next turn. So maybe egg oath.
No.
Egg
first. Egg first. See what you get. Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
I would still put out the Wish Claw.
Yeah, just set that up for next turn.
Set it up for next turn. They've got to deal with it. Maybe they'll go tutor or something for artifact removal. Wouldn't that be dandy? And just
Bolas. Well, we got Rider for Bolas.
Yes, you do. And when they make you discard, get rid of the cry.
Yeah, right. Useless against them. Largely.
Remember, when you're playing this fight, they can only cast 2 spells a turn and nothing, so you're completely safe right here.
Right.
I've often thought about putting an Elder spell in this deck just for things like this, although I always seem to have a Rider or can tutor one up or whatnot.
Feels like this is just Oath the Rider and murder the nickel?
You don't have enough swamps for that. Oh, you do. You've got the egg.
Got an egg, yeah.
You got an egg. That. So yeah, do it. Kill what they've got. Kill it all.
Make sure they're not messing me over. No, all right. Might try to chat with you on Discord and see if that doesn't squelch the game sounds. I have to experiment with that, but that's just an aside.
Yeah, one of these days we need to do some testing on that.
Yeah. One of these days describes a lot of my stream goals.
See what they go for.
Uh-huh.
I'm not sure why they get so upset about Baby Fairy, but they always do. Yeah, this is a pretty usual thing they go after.
Do we still like the talisman play? Looks like we can play the globe first and
Sure, why
decide.
not? They really don't like the talisman play.
Let's
Play the
go.
talisman play first.
Really? Well, we can do it even if we globe.
I would just, either way. But I don't know. I might want to play. You may want to play something different.
All right. Yeah, because we are going to draw off of Teferi. Okay.
Yeah.
It's like
you are making a
they
card
put
off.
Teferi right on top, just like they know.
Mm-hmm.
I guess we can replay the talisman even.
That's actually another good thought.
We can also take 2 and drop a rider.
I think putting out the Wish Claw or the Globe are better plans.
All right, well, let's enter that tap then, and we'll reset the Wish Claw.
Sounds good. It's like cats. You could play it again and again. Well, watch it again and again.
Right. Or in the case of the cat oven, bake it again and again.
So the nice thing is you have 7, so you can you can Wish Claw and Planar Cleansing at this point.
Ah, yeah, so cool. That also solves that problem.
It also solves their fires, so if they do something really nasty.
If they leave 2, they can get Fae back.
Wow, that was kind of a good top deck for you, too.
Do we just want to take out their fires with this? What are your thoughts?
Turning their fires into a 3/3 sounds really interesting, especially since, they don't have a lot back.
Mm-hmm.
I think that seems like a fun play.
All right. Well, I'm going to do this. And we do have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I'm going to globe first. We can still Cavalier.
Yeah, make sure. It doesn't matter, I guess, with the mana.
It actually does, and they tried to work us over.
Well, a globe can sack.
That's true. I'm just, but we might want Doom Foretold Madness instead.
Agreed. There's a lot of ways.
So if we don't have to, might as well not. Play that tapped, and yeah, they can 2-spell without fires. Hat makes a good point. Like, are we really even holding them off of anything at this point?
Probably, because their plan was to discard the Fae and go fetch something.
Yeah, all right, we'll do it.
It also keeps them from using the castle every turn, and it's basically a free disenchant. They get a 3/3. I'm sure you're concerned about that issue. A 3/3 token in this format is worth almost nothing. It might as well have antlers.
Very nice. And most of the time it will.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it is somewhat limiting.
Mm-hmm.
competitive standard where all that matters is winning is basically 100% Oko or anti-Oko. But we were talking when we started about how Arena, especially at the lower ranking levels where we're at, like we're silver on this account or whatever, you just don't see people playing Oko because it's not what people are here to do at this level.
So,
yeah.
just answer the question of Hat's probably right. Fire the wish for ego. So wishing for doom, you mean? This does seem like a lot of fun.
Get the Doom Foretold going.
Doom Foretold is fun with wish. There you go.
And we can even ride her.
Don't forget to punch them.
Yeah, let's punch first. I should have punched first in case they wanted to chump. I don't think they would, though.
It doesn't matter. They're not going to chump because they haven't quite realized the Doom. They can't sacrifice their token to the Doom yet.
Right. I always forget that, as I forgot it just now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to mess around with fronting stuff in our hand.
Yeah, not in this fight. Oh, they're going to give it back. That is so kind of them.
They don't have anything known that takes care of the Foretold.
Well, this means you get to get either another Doom or a Dance on your turn. Dance right here. What'd you sacrifice?
I didn't.
Oh, sorry. No, they just. Sorry, it's still their turn.
Oh, is it? No. Oh, yeah. Okay, it is still their turn. I was like, what happened?
Yeah, it was. It was upkeep shenanigans.
What did they kill it with? Where did our Doom Foretold go? What's going on here?
So they had to.
Oh, they lost the only thing.
They didn't have a card because they moved the wish back.
Gotcha. Yeah. I was confused, but now I understand.
And so they lost a card, lost 2 life, gave us a card, and gave us a creature. Also, they can get Nicol Bolas out to draw a card.
Right. I guess a land might be better. In my head, I was thinking the 2-drop artifacts are so expendable, but I think a land would have been fine there too.
Either way, I'll post scooping.
Also, it just wasn't a deck where damage was the issue. Like, so saving it for, like, yeah, I guess the globe just didn't seem like it did anything to me. Also, actually, I think I thought I was doing that to the Doom Foretold, if I'm honest, and that I couldn't do a land. I thought we were untapping, but it worked.
Yeah, I mean that's what the deck does. It actually does that to the blue-green deck too.
Mm-hmm.
You get smashed though if you play 2 hyper aggro.
I think I'm too dumb for constructed. Man, the lines are tougher here. You know, as much as I love limited for the variety it brings, but the fact is, limited is just full of lower level commonality cards that are much easier to parse on a and there's not a lot of complicated synergies. The playing constructed with decks like this just reminds me what a complicated game we love. Nothing until 3. Is that a deal breaker?
So it's not ideal, but you do have an Oath and you have a Teferi, so I end a Doom.
And
so
we go first.
I'd keep it and hold my nose.
It's not an ideal breaker? All right, we'll keep it.
Yeah. Hold your nose and keep it. And you're going first. I mean, you really do have a sweet hand if you had, well, of course, if you had only one more card that I can name.
Yeah, are we running Thought Erasers?
No.
Okay, so it wasn't even possible for us to. Well, we'll tap this. Nothing to do with it anyway.
Okay, this could be interesting and fun. So it looks like they're playing Skies.
Yeah, I was
The
waiting
best
for the
guess.
blue-green land, but no blue-green land, so it must be skies.
It must be Skies. Um,
All right,
you have a lot
just
of
for
ways of
you.
going about this. I would probably. Wow. Oath first, because you're going to go Oath and then Doom,
Yeah.
and you're going to take a lot of pain damage. Okay, now I'm confused.
Yeah, you don't often see counter spells of any kind in the Skies deck, so what is this?
We
Protect a
will
single Spectral Sailor deck?
maybe. So at this point, I would put out Teferi and see what they do.
All right, well, then we don't need.
Yeah.
Unless it's. Yeah, even Syncopate could get us for 2, so. I don't think Syncopate's legal right now. Never mind.
Yeah, so put that out, Teferi out, see if it hits.
You will be absorbed.
All good.
We could go with a Foretold, but I like Globe Egg. If they got counters, they probably only get 1, and then
Wait. I would consider the other way
really,
around.
because they
Yeah.
counter this, we still have another one.
You've got another one. You're just trading it for a sailor, and that's fine. But I mean, or go egg. Either one. It's you haven't. Yeah, both are good. Choose your poison.
All right, I'm gonna go with my original plan then.
I just hate giving them an extra card is my only issue if they're playing one of the 16 counter decks.
Well, hopefully they run out of counters. Of course, they're refilling, which is Jay's point, but I think we give them 1 card for 4 mana there, and that's pretty reasonable.
Yeah, it's just giving them a card.
Well, they can bounce one of our things if they want. That's okay.
Yeah.
They don't. Makes me think they're on another veto here, but I'm going to put them to that test. Try a Foretold.
Certainly.
Unfortunately, called shot. I respect where Oppo's coming from. I've been, like I say, playing a lot of Simic Flash just because I get to counter so much stuff. Now, I guess we Foretold again. You try a Wrath?
Sure. Try a Wrath.
I'm going to try a Wrath. All right. Hey, it looks like it's actually going to happen. Maybe. All right, it happened. All right, we spent 4 mana to get a sailor that already got 2 cards. Oh well. Two bottom is also good to see.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have anything to do with 6 mana, do we? We could do Rider, cast, or, both sides of Rider. We don't even have the black for that. I guess we do with the Globe. But Kevin London and Hat don't think that means they're out of counters. They just think they're fine with the Wrath.
I think they were just fine with the Wrath, too.
So we can play another one. They won't counter
it. Don't play the land yet. Just play the Murderous Rider going at Teferi.
Okay. All right.
Huh.
Reasonable
I was
sign.
so betting against that. Take the pain and play your rider out.
All right. I'm gonna pay with the. Wait, hold on.
Yeah, pay with that one.
And I get.
Occasionally you break the egg for life.
Pretty brazen.
That is pretty brazen.
Oh, we're gonna try Wrath again,
Mm-hmm.
and then. Oh yeah. Great. They don't even have the 4 to draw twice. Well, definitely no counter now.
Absolutely.
So 1, 2, 3, 4. We can't 2 spell it, so we're just gonna Wrath and Brave. What are we doing on that? We only have the Globe and the Oath right now. Oh, Foretold 2. Okay. There's
Mm-hmm.
pretty decent stuff going on for the Manse.
You do.
No, we're ranked. This is ranked. Play ranked. Well, we can even get the 4/4s now, too. Maybe I played in the wrong one. I thought we were playing in ranked, but I might have misclicked. My intent was ranked. Do we sack this to set up a possible Manse?
No, not yet. You can always use sack it when you're casting it.
Let's take a look at this. In that.
That's a no. And go for the Doom.
No! That's all right. Well, if they don't find a counter for the dance, we're in still pretty good shape.
That's correct. And hopefully you've at least had a look at the next card.
Miscreant. All right, well, that's... We can sack the egg when we cast the dance. It just doesn't matter unless we are afraid of losing on life. Like, maybe we just want to actually eat food here for what that's worth.
Sure, absolutely. The end right here.
One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, 8. So we can egg, sack it,
So there's
and
a
dance.
reason to put them out for 6. If you cast for 6.
Mm-hmm. Before we do this?
Either cast for 6 or cast for 4 and keep back quench space.
What does 6 get us?
6 turns them all into 4/4s.
Oh, maybe I need to read my cards. Hold on, let me read the card. I see. Yeah. Okay. Understood. So we don't want to do this. Let's just dance for 6, right?
Sure. Just dance for 6.
If they have a counter, they get us. If they don't, we get them. That's kind of what it comes down to here, but we're going to make them have it. Oops, that is too many, Ryan. There we go. They were out of cards, then they drew a couple times with well, so
That's really good
let's
for you.
just get to fairy, right?
Yeah, take out fairy. Seems good.
Let's dance. Put on your crystal slippers and dance the blues.
The worst part is they have to deal with double doom right now,
Mm-hmm.
which means you get your guy back.
Double doom was like triple doom.
Yeah.
I totally didn't know what dance did. I thought I did because I played against it, but I think that was like the first time I actually read that card all the way through. Even though I played against it twice in the charity tournament. I just trust that they're telling me what's going on. And anyway, let's we're already at 1 o'clock, so I want to switch decks here. We're going to switch to the other
so
deck.
This is the more powerful deck. You can actually grind at pretty much all levels with this deck. If you're facing too much blue-green, you want to switch in the main deck Aether Gush. They're just fine for swapping in.
Mm-hmm. So you talked about this. Oh no, we didn't talk about it too much.
We didn't really talk about this deck.
All right, so
this deck,
is more like
basically, you're just trying to putz around and not die until you start casting counter spells.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to outdraw people because Gadwick is an unbelievable card engine. There's no other way to put it. The only reason Gadwick isn't completely broken is all the green cards.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, read what that says. That's a brain geyser with a 3/3 with an extra ability.
For 1 blue mana, you get a brain geyser with a 3/3.
Right.
And an ability.
You were a brain geyser. That was on the banned and restricted list. I mean, that's crazy powerful. So you're just putzing around with counter spells and bounce. Warrant is actually a great removal spell because they've nerfed, the spells and the other colors. So
this actually goes here. Just to sort out the curve as to Gadwick's probably could even go like there.
Gadwick usually hits about with Chemister's Insight. Yeah, you hit it. You play it for 3. You play it for 4. Maybe you bounce it.
And because we're going to face Oko this time, we'll put Mystic Dispute in the 1s. All right, let's give this a shot. Looks good.
Yeah. I mean, and get there, and then what happens is you basically burn out of everything against most people, and then you start casting control magics, and they start losing. Because, when both players have no cards and you've got about 8 mana, it's hard to beat Mass Manipulation or Agent of Treachery.
Time Wipe resets Gadwick, another good call out from Alucardio. This looks fine. We get to borrow something on 2, revel on 3, and have a couple of time wipes in case of...
You're great unless you're facing something creatureless.
Yeah.
Which you may or may not be.
Yeah. That could be Oko Food. That could be Simic whatever. A lot of Simic decks going on right now.
But the Simic ones often are super aggro.
Mm-hmm.
As crazy as it sounds, they hate to see Warrant. And we can always play counters with the best of them.
Mm-hmm. We have Petty Theft at the ready, and if they did something hasty, we could do that. Yeah, it looks like Simic Flash.
Mm-hmm.
Deck After My Own Heart. Do we bounce that now just to do something?
That's a great question. Well, the thing is, I think I'd hold and warrant it. They're not going to expect Warrant.
Yeah.
No one plays it.
Nobody expects the Warrant.
Or you could borrow it on their turn.
They might counter this sometimes, but they might not think this is worth the counter. I'm not sure I would counter this as a Simic Flash player with a counter spell if I had anything else to do.
We would love them to counter it.
Yeah.
So I might go a little aggressive here.
Oh, you would have gone to Fairy?
You don't have any land. And the way you lose this fight is by running out of land before you get to 4, which is where you're at.
Yeah, I just saw the Absorb and got that in my head, but I didn't stop to
Yeah,
consider throwing the Teferi out.
it's.
I
I
kind
would
of like.
rather have done it last turn than this turn.
I think it makes sense to borrow here.
That's
Um,
an interesting
to
thought.
use our
Sure, go
mana.
for it.
I guess the Sailor blocks it pretty well, but
Go for it anyway. Let's
yeah,
see what they do.
if they want to Mystic Snake this, that's fine. Yeah,
Really,
Ambusher, but we have the Absorb ready. That's my idea, is that we compel them to do something that we absorb.
mm-hmm.
Okay, and so they took that moment while shields were down to do that. We didn't find a land, so let's bounce the Ambusher,
So
and
yeah, they
then,
did lose the game off of doing that play.
well, maybe. We'll see if we can
They almost always lose
to
if
Teferi.
you drop Teferi. Bounce, draw land.
Nice.
You go for 3 eye. Oh, actually, here, hold on for a second.
They don't have anything hasty, right? There's no
No,
reason
no,
not to
I was just
attack.
saying whether you want to search. I guess you don't have to search, but
Let's start here
yeah,
regardless.
ironically, don't search.
Can you please tell me where to enter deck code? You mean to see what this deck is? You can go exclamation point deck and look at the cardboard live list. That's going to show you the current main deck. Now we want to land such that I'm not even going to crack the passage because we
don't have to.
we want to land.
Right, you want to land.
Oh, you enter that in the store.
Upper right corner of the store page.
Well, unfortunately, we didn't find our land, but we can go plus this Teferi and then drop the other one.
Correct.
Land us. No,
Yes,
realm is all right though.
Mm.
It's not ideal, but at least it's something we can do to the ambusher.
Sure.
Crack this now. I guess we still don't have to if we want the mana.
Don't crack it.
It's my my heuristics trying to overwhelm my brain.
Mm-hmm.
Funny.
Speaking of things you can do about it.
Let's see.
You know, I would bounce it.
Just brazen it.
Yeah. It's a really efficient use of the mana.
And if that's what they do for the rest of the game, our 3-1 is just going to get there. And eventually we have Prison Realm.
Well, you're pretty
And eventually
close to
we have Time Wipe.
They're on the 3-turn clock at this point. Okay, deck. Could you wrap on the top of your deck?
Tapness. Yeah, that's right. All right, here we go. Yeah, land one time.
I want to knock on the deck.
Oh. Well, let's go Prison Realm. And we get a scry.
Mm-hmm.
There's the land. Of course, now we can't crack and play the Mystical Dispute without without making that go away, but just something to keep in mind.
Yeah. Don't forget to up it. Good.
Should we attack? Let them.
Absolutely.
Yeah. We have the other one anyway.
They're gonna block.
Not blocking.
Wow.
I guess they want to keep Teferi off of a bounce level again or something. I don't know.
They do realize they're close to dead. Maybe they don't.
I don't know. I don't look at my life total much. Maybe they don't either. Yeah, they've got a bug about the Teferi situation.
Mm-hmm.
But that's fine if they do. They opt here, play a creature. We can even just let them go to their turn and time wipe on their turn.
Oh, yeah. They can't do anything about it. Oh, that's got to feel good for Oppo.
Yeah, and then
playing the 3-2 beatdowns.
I could have Mystical disputed that, but I don't. But we have such a plan. Who cares, right?
You got a great plan right now.
Yeah.
Play your land. Swing. Then on their attack phase,
crack Fable, and we'll time wipe before Teferi or us takes a hit.
Mm-hmm. Nice comment, James.
I guess we just want all the blue in the world in this
you
deck.
Want all the blue in the world once you have 2 whites. You have the land that requires 3 islands to activate.
And we have a mass manipulation in hand staring us with quad blue.
I certainly don't stop until I have 2 white and 3 islands.
That might make them scoop. Let's see what they can do for 2 here, though. Opt. Yeah, I think they opt scoop.
Mm-hmm.
No, they're gonna stick with it. Okay. We'll plus it. And yes, yeah, there we go.
Yeah, wait till
now they're done.
There it goes.
Right on. Good stuff there.
I want you to face a mono red, and then I want you to face a food deck.
Right on. 1407 FR. It may be that, are you sure you don't have the cards in it? It might just unlock the cards in it. I can't, but, or maybe a different account redeemed it? Or where did you get your code? Sounds like a different account may have redeemed that one. All right, jumping back in. Let's do the time wipe again.
Ugh. You remember that was the flavor text on Time Warp.
Yep, let's do it again. Huh. You could reach out to support at Wizards Help. I think it might be Wizards_help on Twitter. Or let me post you a link here so you can inquire about it. You can let them know here that your code isn't working, and they'll probably just give you the deck if they have that kind of granting ability. 2 Tranquil Coves, where all of our lands at EDB tapped. Is that a deal breaker? We do have Warrant.
No, keep it.
And we're going first. We're on the play.
Yep, you're on the play. You've got Warrant. You've got 27 lands in the deck, so you're in pretty good shape. And besides, you're already ahead on life.
Yeah, I would do what Mike said first, though. Just go to your collection, make absolutely certain that you don't just have the cards and didn't realize that it worked. And then if you don't have that Planeswalker, then check with customer support.
Top deck an island. Good man.
We did it. Yes, Mama, that's what we're trying to figure out.
Counterspell this.
Oh, yeah. Go away, Narset.
So it looks like another Fires deck.
Yeah. I don't have anything for the next... Do we just run out Gadwick here? Or if not,
we should run out Gadwick here.
Because if not, we put Sanctuary, aggressive. Right? But that's how this card is so good, right?
Play the island.
Yeah, well, if we were waiting on Gadwick, we would play the Mystic. But that's the strength of this card in heavy blue, is that even at X of 1, it doesn't suck.
No, it's
Hill Giant draw card. Okay.
Well, it's better than a Hill Giant. Remember, you can use the instants. Warrant is an instant.
Now we'll play the island so that Sanctuary actually gets us something if we want it.
Right, absolutely.
Do we
Do you have
want
do you have anything in there? If not, you're going to play Warden.
to get back? You mean?
Yeah.
We have Absorb.
Oh, let's see. You do have something. You still might want to
Still might just want a
consider.
Warden, right? Yeah.
Yeah, you still
I'm
might
doing
want to
it.
play Warden.
Let's put some pressure on.
It's fires. Give them something to play with. Remember, you're just messing around until you get to 7 mana.
That was good for them.
Yeah, whatever.
But we'll now if we want to, we don't have anything to do this turn. Oh, unless we could just steal Teferi. Do you want to play Sanctuary and steal Tef? Or
that's
Ardenvale and steal Tef
that's
later.
1 mana to Shafio. Oh no, you can cast it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And put Absorb on top.
Question. Yeah, put Absorb on top. Steal Teferi. They'll be annoyed by that a lot.
I'd be annoyed by that.
Yeah,
it's a good heuristic. Would this annoy the heck out of you? If so, go for it.
Yeah. I sort of hate the fact the castle's going to come in tapped, so you can't steal 3 turns in a row.
We're going to draw a card, or we'll find a land.
You just put an Absorb on top. If you find a land,
right.
you're cheating.
Never mind. I don't know what I'm talking about. Well, they get 1 more spell. It's a Chandra.
That's kind of an unusual choice off of...
Yeah, I thought so. We play this, up this, and kind of counter anything and then steal.
Basically, counter stuff? They've got 2 spells. You can counter one of them.
They're leading on Teferi. I guess we have to counter that, or we can't counter the other one.
Absolutely. So counter Teferi.
Probably means their next one is going to be pretty good since they opened with the must counter. All right, they're just looking to reload.
Never steal fires. Oh, that's the... Okay, that doesn't do anything.
Well, we could bounce the fires.
You could.
We could. Well, should steal Chandra first, though. Let's start there.
Yeah, I think you steal Chandra. And that's, again, it's just really going to annoy him.
And we'll plus.
Yeah. Oh, hey, you're almost at the ultimate, too.
No kidding.
Hey, you get a land out for that? That was awesome.
Is it worth bouncing the fires?
No. No, you want to bounce Agent of Treachery. Well, that's kind of a toss-up, because it takes one of their spells next turn.
Yeah.
So, yeah, do it. I think you're right.
It also makes Teferi go away, though. So if we wanted, if we do any minus, Teferi's gone, for whatever that's worth. Could I have 1 if I took Inventions, then played Agent as your second spell? I don't know about winning, but maybe that was a decent line.
Yeah, go ahead and bounce your fires.
Bounce their fires?
Bounce their fires.
All right.
I'm just being greedy, wanting to bounce the other agent, but this is good too.
And we're at Chandra ultimate levels.
Yeah,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Mass out here.
Yeah, we got mass for 2.
And another agent, and it's all kinds of bad for them.
That's not Fire's mana. What are they doing?
I don't know. Oh, they're playing that thing. Oh, that card's good for you.
Yeah, it's going to be our thing, right?
Absolutely. Maybe they're charging Chandra with it. Don't forget to break your sack land.
Yeah, we don't want to draw more land. I'll just do that now. And get more blue.
Get an island here. Not a blue. Get a
plains. Too late.
Yeah.
Oh, because that would allow for this. We still have white sources.
No, you just didn't have. You don't have one yet. Oh. In case you draw another.
Oh, another castle. Gotcha. Right. Oh no. Yeah, that's not a. All right, so we just let this happen, and they take 5, and then we steal it.
That seems good. Put the Fabled into play first, and wait.
Oh, too late. I just going on cruise control. But yeah, you like
Well, put the Fabled in, filter out a land.
Yeah.
Get yourself a plane so that you have one.
I'll
Just
do
to
that this
prove to
time.
everybody.
Now steal Kenrith?
It's also good, sure.
All your stuff is ours. Base and otherwise.
You know, he's got that creature has some abilities. You might want to check what they are.
Oh, sure. Just to
do. I think you
can't do either of them right now, but we get target player gains 5 and target player draws a card.
Yeah, so 3 and 4.
Humph.
Well, that was mean.
Yeah, that was actually pretty good of them. For them.
Mm-hmm. So now you're going to have to start building out little 1/1s.
Yeah, using the castle.
Yeah. Least-wise, so they give you something else you can take.
This is it for Dex Dionysus. We're going to play maybe one more after this, and then, oh man, we're just going to steal that.
We should mention the updated other deck for the new format.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so we have a tweak on the old decks in the face of this common and uncommon only format.
Which should be a lot of fun. Dionysus, just this and the Doom deck were the two that I had, plus a quick update on the red deck.
6,
so
7, 8,
they
9,
banned
10.
The 2 casting cost enchantment that deals damage for each one power attacking creature. My brain's locked on the name of it. Anyway, there's a pretty good substitute, which is the Herald Beacon. Before you play that...
Nope, too late. You're talking. I try to do it this way this time, so we filter out some.
But first you check Chandra.
Yeah, well, I figure I'm checking Chandra with one fewer land in my deck, but that's true. I've played a land, so we can't use it. But it is what it is now. I've done it. Yeah, and got punished. And I failed to. Did we have that ability yet? I think I may have failed to make a 1/1. Mm-hmm. But we can manipulate. We have 10 now, so we can.
Why don't you take their creature and their Narset?
Yeah, Realm Cloaked and Narset seems like a good steal.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, Hat, if you take a look, we can list the red deck. It's, strong. I don't know that it's dominant, but the reason I don't know it's dominant is I think the silver-black format's actually a really good format. Oh, hey, that's pretty cool. You gonna bounce their fires?
Yeah, keep bouncing the fires.
But anyway, I would start off with the mono red in part because I always start off with the mono red, and then I'd look and see what's out there and how things are starting to play, because there's a lot of room. Banning all the rares and mythics in this format helps it a lot.
Mm-hmm. That's one way to handle Oko. It's not an Oko problem. Format. It's a rares and mythics problem. They're all gone. What are you saying about my constructed skills, Guru? What a jerk.
So, start with Chandra.
All right. That can get rid of this, but can just realm the...
Warren actually works on blockers, too.
Right. So I was thinking we could realm Sarkhan and warrant Dragon.
Or the other way around. Well, but sure.
Yeah, I guess in either case we don't get any damage with our giant
I
through. It kind of
guess
does the same thing.
Yeah, Realm Sarkin. Whatever you do, just make sure you keep up counter spell for the rest of the game.
Right. Absorb at the ready at all times.
Yeah.
Sure, I kind of, well, actually we've got one.
He's so good.
I'm gonna figure. Yeah, he is so good. But we have like, although it's fine to just bounce. Yeah, I'm gonna keep it. Like even if you're just replacing the old one and bouncing, that's fine. And then we'll plus here. And we have warrant plus counter. I'm gonna start with an attack.
Yeah, attacking's great. You can actually even play the warden if you want.
Right, just play the
and
the
you
creature.
still have an absorb left.
Although with Teferi we can do that at instant speed, so we can just wait on everything.
When it goes away though.
Oh right, good call. Yeah, then we have to.
Right.
And we still have absorb ready. Okay. Yeah, you should actually just make some kind of shortcut, Dionysus. You know, Control P is punt on your keyboard. Macroed, right? Granted. I say go for it, and then we'll counter whatever they
counter the next one.
Counter. They only get 2 spells, so they find the answer, but then we counter it.
Correct.
And then they scoop it. Ready for the incoming scoop?
I think I see it coming.
There it is.
Yep. Well, I'm hoping you're enjoying this deck, Ryan.
Yeah, this is my speed, my style. In constructed, reminds me a little bit of the control deck from the charity tournament. But yeah, counter the whole turn.
It has less counters than you might think it does. It's a little bit more aggro control towards my style of these, but anyway, it does an efficient job against the metagame, and I think it's the only other real choice if you just want to win. At least it's different.
You know, folks, we're at 1:30. I got a busy afternoon ahead, and we have a nice 4-0. Actually, we're 7-0 on the paid account today. We went 3-0 in a draft we started, and then won all of our constructed games. So I think I'm just going to finish on a high note. Basically, a 7-win day for the paid account.
Before you split, could you link the silver black?
Let's talk about it. Okay, wait. Sorry, I did promise we would talk about that. At least, maybe we'll even play it. Maybe I'm a big liar.
You don't need to play it. The format hasn't opened yet. Just bring it up so that people can see it and have a link to it.
Did you send it to me in email? Where is it?
I did. You've got an email link to it in the follow up.
1 second, folks.
I overwrote the older peasant version with the one that meets the band restricted. Okay. So there's a lot of decks that people can build. You can build green-white, you can build black-green, you can build mono-red, you can certainly build blue-green in this format. So there's going to be a lot that goes in there. You can probably even build some solid mono colors. The mono-blue mill deck might be playable in this format. It really is kind of an interesting format to play with.
This one?
No. It should be red.
Is it?
That's it.
Okay.
There we go. Okay. It is a little heavy on the land, but 4 of them produce 1/1s. It uses Heraldic Banner because Cavalcade is banned in the format. It uses everything red because it needs to combo with the Heraldic. It uses a few more spells. It's your speed red deck to a T.
All right. Well, you guys get one more game at least then, because I'm going to run it.
Okay.
See if we can make it 8.
It's going to be really hard to win standard with this.
It is, but we're going to try anyway. Maybe I'll do the play queue, although frankly,
probably better.
The play queue is still pretty sharky, but we'll start here.
Yeah, but even just being a hair less sharky would help a lot.
Or if somebody else has a brew that they've made for this upcoming format, we could battle as friends with the format ahead of time. That's one good use of the challenge a friend feature, is that when you have these restricted formats that aren't available against in the queues, you can still get some practice in the format ahead of time if you have a friend to work with.
Looks reasonable. Not the best you could have, but not bad either.
Yeah, we'll keep this.
I mean, it's a little top heavy as decks as hands go, but you've got 3 lands.
Hat has the reminder that the Extra Life fundraiser sleeves go away on Monday. If you want the pony sleeves, you have to get them this weekend. Well, Oppo mulling helps us a little bit here.
Helps us a lot. We've got some removal.
We're going to start with an attack, though.
I would agree.
We can race.
You are not worried about a race, especially when they show white. And
we could kill
now
them
you're going to
both.
feel bad about playing Oppo. This is a pretty awesome start.
Do you want to kill both these brutes or not? We don't have anything to do next turn yet.
Yeah, you might as well wait. You don't have anything to do next turn.
Dionysus asks, would I rather have a busy or a calm life? My gut says to say calm, but actually I kind of like being busy. I want to mix. I want to feel busy, but I want to find the ability to put it aside and be calm when I need to. That's the big challenge, right?
Yeah, I think you want the a sinusoidal curve.
Should we take out one of these brutes?
Why?
I'm worried about what's going on in here.
See if they cast something else.
Well, we have something to do. At least we can skewer that. What do I like about being busy? Because when you accomplish things, it feels fulfilling. And being busy ultimately kind of somewhat means a sense of purpose. Like I have a reason to do things. So here I think
I think you drop out the banner.
You want to drop out the banner, so then we start scorching.
Drop out the banner, and then use the mana to make that unblockable.
Right, okay, that's a good call. I just want to mix. I mean, I hear you, Guru. I find inner purpose well. Like if you got the right mix, that's what it's all about. That I feel like I was busy today, but I did good things that helped me and my family and make me feel fulfilled and feel like I'm accomplishing things. And then I put it aside and enjoy doing nothing. But I don't think I'll have a problem like being retired. That's, I'll probably just stream more.
I think the mind gives you a 1/1.
Yes, it does. So let's do that. It gives us a 2/1, in fact.
2/1, in fact, as do the scampering Scorcher.
So we just scorch the heck and accept one of them dying to the suit.
I think there's all sorts of good with this.
Actually, we could shock the face and skewer. That doesn't do it. That doesn't matter, though.
It doesn't matter. You do want to kill that, but otherwise you want to throw a lot at their dome.
Well, we can't scamper. Oh, we can, because the banner makes mana. I forgot. So, but we can't like shock. Yeah, we can't do all of these. We can. Let's Scorcher. Let's Scorcher, and then we'll let them have whichever one they want, and
shock to finish.
Shock to finish. Mail's here. Thanks, Rocket. Mono white artifact? We haven't seen an actual white spell yet. maybe it's just because they thought this was the best color for the Granges or whatever. I'm curious what white spells they're playing. Probably Silver Flame Ritual or something. I don't know what's going on here. We are in the play queue, so with a bit of a weird deck, so it's possible we got matched up with an equally weird deck given how the pairings work around here. I guess we're taking all this and racing.
Mm-hmm. Well, you can block if you'd rather, but
Yeah, I don't.
you could block. Blocking a gingerbread man isn't bad because they can sack for life.
Right. We just get all these Scorchers. Wow. And then.
But dropping another Scorcher seems good.
Yeah, and we get a Skewer after.
Mm-hmm. Should be lethal.
All right, we got there. So, kept the win streak going. We have 8-0 on this account today. You know, just some of it's casual constructed, but still, wins are nice. Dionysus, you're getting into semantics. When I say busy, my assumption is that it is with things that matter to my life and help fulfill it. But I don't mean busy as in not accomplishing it. You know, just busy work that doesn't get anywhere. But I think it feels good to accomplish things, and you usually have to be a little bit busy to accomplish things. So it's a balance. I'm all about balance. I don't know if you've here. I'll let me look it up. I've shown this on stream before, but I'll show it again. In fact, I have a domain called mtgpoetry.com, and on this website, I made a poem out of magic cards for my friends who got married. So the idea is you just read these cards in order, and it tells the story of their courtship and wedding. She's a nurse, so she's the master healer. He's the white knight. They have a chance encounter. There's a seed spark. It's kindled. They explore. Anyway, my point is showing this, and what it was reminding me of is that I love the idea of magic poetry, using magic cards to kind of do beat poetry. And I made one for, it's not on the site, is actually predated the site, but when my cousin, who's like a little brother to me, graduated from high school, I made him a magic poem out of magic cards, and it was like life advice stuff. And one of the main the final piece of the poem was the card balance, because I just think ultimately that for me covers a lot of life philosophy. That you talk about liking this, liking that. Should I do this? Should I do that? Should I do more of this, less of that? And almost always the answer to me is find the right balance. So anyway, if you want to look at those poems, here I'll put the link in, but it's mtgpoetry.com.
I now picture you at open mic night at a coffee shop somewhere, bringing up a PowerPoint.
Right, just like click through, read it yourself, folks.
Oh no, you're reading it.
Oh, I got it. Yeah, that they can see. Sure.
So one more question before I split, Ryan.
Mm-hmm.
What's your longest streak in it? What's your longest successive streak of wins?
Well, I know I've had at least a 7-0 a few times in draft, so it's probably on the beginning. It's probably a 7-0 plus whatever I did before or after. I'd have to look at the. We could probably look at the stream record and come up with one.
How many games did you win today, though?
Here I won 8 on this account, and then we ended with a loss on the other account, right? So yeah, on the first one we went 2-3, so we're like 10-3 on the day, but 8-0 since moving here.
And are you counting the constructed?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So we'll off the air, I'm going to keep this draft going here and try and keep the streak going all the way to 9, 10, 11, 12 at least.
I do realize I jinxed you by bringing up the subject. So
nah,
apologies
I'm not
for
a
that.
jinx kind of guy. We're not superstitious around here. Do your worst with all of your hexing. I will survive. All right, I'm going to see who we're going to raid today, and I'm going to
bye everybody.
Thank Jay. Thank you, Jay, for coming. We'll talk to you later, man. And then we'll see who we're going to raid. We got Mobius. We got Jamie Topples is streaming. Let's raid Jamie. You know she's going to be drafting. Thanks a lot for hanging out today. Those of you, especially who made it to the end, I appreciate you sticking with the limited and the constructed and entertaining ourselves together. Very special to me. I'll give you my Mr. Rogers. I'm a lucky guy, and you all are part of what make me feel so lucky. So thank you, everybody. Have a fantastic weekend. I will try to track how this mono blue deck goes and let you know how it goes on Monday. And we'll see you then. And give a big hello to Jamie from me. Catch you next time, folks.